So you guys have heard the news, I'm sure, about Aaron Taylor Johnson has
They
been
picked their
offered.
Oh,
He hasn't been picked, but he has been offered
we
the role of 007.
we've heard this with the Fantastic Four movie dozens of times at this point.
He hasn't been chosen.
Is he?
No. He is not. But he is the only one that it has been announced has been offered the role.
He's pretty popular these days, and I like him as an actor. He's a pretty good actor.
Yeah, I like him too. So I think somebody was saying, probably Pierce Brosnan was saying something about Cillian Murphy being James Bond. Cillian's too old.
Too old.
Also, he's not ruggedly handsome.
He's not ruggedly handsome. He's more suave.
Yeah. I hate that. It's kind of funny that the character
also, he's
built
Irish.
for himself now.
He's not British.
The character that he's built for him now, Aaron Taylor Johnson, not Cillian. The character he's built for him now, and then you go and watch like the Kick-Ass movies, and you're like, this is a little boy playing around on screen.
Isn't that funny? The but then I mean, obviously Idris Elba is too old.
Well, you've been pushing Idris Elba.
They should have done Idris Elba 10 years ago.
If you wanted a black James Bond, he would have been perfect.
And
he wouldn't have had a problem. Like, he would have been a good fit.
Yeah, I think so as well. Really, the important thing was that for me is that he was British and a man.
If we go, we're gonna go woman James Bond or
that
woman
would
007 pretty quick.
Thanks.
Oh man.
So Pierce Brosnan said that he thought Aaron Taylor Johnson would be a great. He said, I think the man has the chops and the talent and the charisma. That's important to play Bond.
Charisma, got it.
Very much so.
He probably will smile more than Daniel Craig.
Oh man, please have a really, charming, authentic, classy James Bond, and not brooding Craig James Bond.
Look, I have no problem with the take that Daniel Craig.
He's all right. He's not charming enough for me. He's not.
I don't know, dude. Them eyes are piercing. They could pierce to your soul.
Peak Bond is Sean Connery. He's the most charming.
Was he the first one, right?
I don't know if he was the very first.
He was early.
So Pierce Brosnan says that, talking about another movie, he was really good in it. He was the greatest in it. So yes, I read the news about his possibilities of being Bond. So I would definitely tip my hat to the fellow.
So I think it's not a bad choice.
I don't think so.
If you're gonna pick, he's British, right?
Yeah.
I think I think there's hope here. I think this actually could be great casting. I just gotta see it.
So for a minute, when it came to James Bond, it was like the most wild conclusions that people were coming to: men, women, black, white, whatever, Indian, of who could be James Bond. I think by offering this is what I think is the most important part about this whole thing. By offering Aaron Taylor Johnson the role, we know where the James Bond people are at in who they want to hire. A young, attractive, charming
white guy.
British white guy. Yeah.
Who's not gay.
We'll see.
As long as James Bond isn't seducing men.
See, that could be their loophole.
Oh my goodness.
That could be their loophole.
Make James Bond gay.
Make James Bond gay or bisexual, and then we can make him, white and British. But
if I saw anything like that on screen, I would just never watch. I don't even know what I would
You'd be done with cinema?
Yes. No,
James Bond.
Look, I think this is good casting as long
I'd be
as
done
they
with
don't make
British
him gay.
people. That's what I would do.
I don't know that. I think James Bond as a character is held in pretty high regard, and at least from what I've seen, with the exception, okay, so No Time to Die I thought was good,
Mhm.
but there was the whole conflict. You guys never watched it?
Have
There was
not.
the whole conflict with he had retired. They had given 007 titles to a different person, and then they
Yeah.
came back, and for a minute they were both 007. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And they gave it to a black lady. All right.
Right.
And there was this bit where it's a bit in the film where it's kind of like 007, and they're both like, yes, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That was a bit odd, but that's about the only woke thing I've seen enter the James Bond space.
Yeah, it's like I don't mind. I don't know if I necessarily mind like the Agent 007 not being James Bond, but it's synonymous with James Bond.
Right.
If they were to do a James Bond film where he's not James Bond and to maybe like a Logan type movie, old James Bond where he's
Mhm.
not 007, I would be interested in that, but
That's kind of what No Time to Die was, a little bit.
but
It was like he was out and replaced.
James Bond is 007 and he is a secret agent, and that's what the movie should be about. His adventures as a secret agent, not about him retiring. Boo, stupid.
Well,
Don't do it.
the whole problem with old James Bond is the thing of, does he die? How does a character like James Bond die? Also, what is there any hope for a James Bond to be not an agent? Like,
Mhm.
can he have a life
They
outside of
started
his
they
work?
started dabbling with it a little bit in the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies, where they started questioning
Yeah.
the things that he does and why he treats women the way he does. They started questioning it's like why who is he? Why does he do these things? Is it purely because of manipulation? Is it because he's um he can't imagine himself attempting to settle down with a woman after what happened to his first wife? What
Right.
is it? And so it was kind of interesting if you watch the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies about how they sort of question what it is to be a secret agent. But I also like the campy fun of him just going on secret agent adventures, and I think if they can mix the two really well, you can have a good recipe for a fun James Bond movie.
All right. Good recipe. Hollywood? Or who's making this?
I don't know, but if
Is James Bond owned by Warner Brothers? No, Universal. No.
Universal.
Is it Universal? Who owns it? Let me look it up real quick.
Mm.
Studio. Okay, so it looks like EON Productions.
Probably
But-
a British company. But so the other thing I did want to mention really quick is about them continuing to have him white is it's interesting, I think, that they're offering it to him. You would think that I thought they would cave under the peer pressure.
Yeah.
But I think I think maybe studios are starting to understand that you can just create new characters like John Wick or Monkey Man,
Yeah.
you know? And you don't have to cast
Ballerina.
you don't have to cast legacy characters as
No, something new.
as diversity hires.
I mean,
diversity hires.
that's
You can
the
just
way to
make
go.
make
That's the
new
way to
cool
go. Just
characters.
make new characters.
Okay, but we did that. Chris Nolan did that with Tenet, and no one liked it.
I liked it.
Most of the internet did not like
Did you
Tenet.
see? Did you see
I
the
liked
meme
the
that was like, my
character, I
dad
didn't like
watched
the
Tenet
movie.
like this, and then at the very end was like, I didn't understand a thing. I like Tenet. Tenet is a good movie, and the people who didn't understand it are fools.
They're
I
small
understood
brain.
it. I just still think it's a bad movie.
I don't think it's a bad movie.
It's definitely not a bad movie.
It's not a yeah. I don't think that can.
That's
It
blasphemous
is
to say
long.
it's a bad movie.
It is long and it can be confusing. But
Okay,
yeah,
but-
it takes a little bit of thought to get into it.
Right.
Sorry if that's a bad movie.
You
No,
have to come into it
we've
with your
talked about
brain.
it at length.
we
I
have.
don't want to
plenty
get
of
into
times.
this. Why it's poking the bear?
I
He's
know.
trying
But
to get me.
we can go round and round and round about it.